All right, guys, let's connect today, February 16th, 2025, coming at you for our live stream for the next hour. And hopefully you're doing well, safe and sound, staying warm, staying cool. Depends on where you're at. I'm in Florida, so it's back to being warm a little bit, but going to be cool again. I know a lot of places are more cold than hot right now as it's February 16th. But I'm One Eye Bri, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about some different shows and a movie that we watched yesterday. And some Walking Dead news about the Daryl show. Still no news about Maggie and Negan's Dead City Season 2 premiere, release date just yet. But overall, guys, let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below in the chat. We always appreciate you guys taking the time to be here, whether you're staying for the full hour or a couple minutes, just saying hello. Got to talk about that Super Bowl. That was last Sunday. Yeah, so hopefully you're doing well. And everybody, thank you for everybody joining me to take the time. So overall, we're hanging in there. We're getting through this year. It's like January takes forever. Now we're more than halfway done of February. And then it'll be March. And then when that's done, a quarter of the year is done. It goes by quick. Hopefully you got some plans for this year. Hopefully you got something going on. Before you know it, you got different shows and movies that are happening. Cobra Kai Season 6, the final part is on Netflix now. It came back on the 13th. Reacher starts on Thursday on Amazon Prime, Season 3. And 1923 Season 2 starts on Sunday, a week from today. So a lot of good shows and stuff to watch. What are you interested in? What are you excited for? So my wife and I did watch the Captain America Brave New World movie with, it's weird to say Falcon, but Captain America is Anthony Mackie. And I don't want to get too much into spoilers with that, but it's okay. It's better than the first Captain America movie. That was pretty weak, in my opinion. The origin story of Steve Rogers and everything, that was pretty bad. But Winter Soldier is one of the best non-Avengers movies, in my opinion. And then the Civil War is kind of like another Avengers type thing. But this is basically Anthony Mackie's movie. And that's okay, but I don't want to give anything away. But as you know from the trailer and also from the thumbnail of this video, you know that Red Hulk shows up, and so he comes around, and you'll have to see what's happening with that for the future of that character. But Harrison Ford is an old man, and he took over for the other guy who played, the general, that he died in real life. That's why Harrison Ford took over that place. If you know anything about filming sites on The Walking Dead, you'll see some familiar filming sites in that movie for sure. When things jump out at me, mostly, the episode Clear with Rick, Michonne, and Carl, and the reemergence of Morgan, that area is definitely seen, and also in Season 6 with the Saviors, that compound there with the satellite station and the things there, that was also seen as well. So they love to reuse certain areas, certain filming sites, the filming locations are just there, obviously, because they film in Georgia. And it's just pretty cool anytime you see it. My wife and I just started a show called Billions, and I know it's an older show when it was on Showtime. Now it's on Paramount Plus, and we're watching that. We're on Season 1, Episode 7. We watched Episode 6 last night because, again, I'm a one episode a day kind of person. And Billions is different. It's a different kind of show. It's a little crazy and over the top in that world of trading and stocks and money and just that world that I'll probably never be in, and majority of us will never be in. But it's a different kind of thing, and you know me, I like a different kind of show. But other than that, what are you guys watching? What do you guys recommend? What are you guys excited for? And I have to talk about Cobra Kai because Cobra Kai is the final part of the final season, Season 6. And I have to laugh because some of the actors should be that much better with their karate by now. This is 6 seasons of a show. I was talking to my wife about it. Like, Cobra Kai was on YouTube Season 1 was on YouTube. And then it had 5 seasons on Netflix. And that's a long time. You could be a pretty good martial artist if you actually trained and did stuff for 4 to 5 years. And yes, they're going to have stunt doubles. And yes, they're going to have people there and actors aren't there. But some of the actors do their own stunts. And some of the actors can actually do martial arts. And I'm not trying to pick on Mary Mauser, but she's pretty terrible. Like, her fight scenes are just so basic. And you can tell when it's her and when it's the stunt person and whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's just laughable. The stuff that Robbie does... but it's just funny. So we watched the second episode of the final part, and if you know Saved by the Bell, you know, one of the actresses from there shows up, and it's just something that I'm ready for the show to be done. And again, it's a karate drama, but I grew up watching The Karate Kid, so it's pretty cool too. So the big news about the Daryl Dixon show for Daryl Dixon season 3 is that I believe they have finished filming, or at least finished filming in a certain location, because I believe they started filming like last year, like towards the end of the year, and they took some time off, and then they came back, and Daryl was filming with another actress, and then we saw Daryl filming with Carol, so we got to see Melissa and Norman filming together, which it was pretty cool to see them. And I don't know where it leaves off, if there's going to be a 4th season. I don't know what the future holds, but there's no word if there's Andrew Lincoln was on set. There's no word about any of that stuff. Will we see any of that stuff? I don't know. So we'll have to see what the plan is for that too. So yeah, no, I won't talk about any Cobra Kai spoilers, but definitely check it out. And that's another one that's filmed in Georgia as well. Anissa says she's been watching Younger on Netflix. It has Nico Tortorella from The Walking Dead and World Beyond in it. I don't know what Younger is. Is that a horror show? Is that a drama? Like, what is Younger? Yeah, Cobra Kai, it's just a little too long for what it is. And I'm not mad at it, because nowadays all the streaming services have to have something to draw you in, because there's so many of them, and that's okay. But the big thing is will you watch stuff year round for a streaming service? Because they're getting out of hand. They're getting super pricey. Netflix just raised their prices again and again and again and again and again. And it's like crazy to think about how much they're going to be. Like, at the end of the day, easily going to be paying over $100 for internet, easily, and then all the different streaming services. It's just kind of crazy. So no, Brandon, I haven't seen that, but hopefully it's good or whatever. But no, I haven't seen any reviews on YouTube about it. But Anissa says Younger is a comedy show about a 40-year-old woman who lies and says she's 26 to get a job after her husband cheats on her. So it's a comedy. Okay. Yeah, I love a good comedy. Comedy's always worth it. A comedy can show up in anything, too. Like The Walking Dead had some good comedic moments and everything. But, yeah, like I said, we started Billions. So if you've seen that at all, we're catching up. We're late to the party by any means. You know, and it's pretty cool to see how it's gone for that show. I heard good things about it. I didn't really like Succession at all, and this is already better than Succession. Billions. Paul Giamatti is one of the main characters, and it's awesome because so Brandon, you sent it on Facebook. There's a link. I don't know. Should I even watch it? Like, should I even see if someone's like killing it, or people will just say like, oh yeah, he ripped off The Walking Dead and ripped off this, which it's completely different on there too. And who's actually reviewing it? I don't know. So I don't know. It is one of those things. Like, I don't know if I should watch anything like that, because I'm like, people are gonna say what they say, and it's okay, and that's all right, but it's something there too. I don't know. But overall, hopefully people enjoy the series. I've actually just started back writing more and more. I wrote this morning, actually, the next installment of the next book series. Well, I guess the first installment of the next series. And it's definitely getting there. I'm excited to share it, but I'm getting ideas more and more together, just try to get them together for that. And just definitely excited for the next Fight for Us installment too. So. Yeah, Anissa, I said that before. I think you came on. So yeah, you definitely know the Grantville area when Anthony Mackie's character is fighting Gus from. Yeah, well, it's a different character, but same Giancarlo Esposito, and it's pretty cool to see that. And then also there's the scene when they go into, I don't know where that actually is, when they go to the Savior's compound with like the satellite station on there as well. So Amy Reader says, just started the first book of Fight for Us, got it from her fiance. So yeah, hopefully our fiance liked it and everybody there too. It's always like a little exciting and worrisome if people like it. I don't know, like, because it's my baby, it's my thing that I started from scratch, and it's always different when I could definitely feel for artists or writers or musicians or whatever when you come up with something and you're like, all right, do people like it? Because they might not. People may think it's stupid. They may think it's dumb, but I don't know. I just feel like the early books, all I can say is if you like the early books, because it's not written the best, I've gone in and corrected the mistakes as much as I could back then, and there still may be some in there, but it gets better and better as I've honed your craft and got better with it and learned to edit and learn these things on there as well. So, yeah, if you like it and you recommend it to people, that's greatly appreciated. Just like anything, just like the channel, because word of mouth is better than any marketing and everything there too. So if someone likes, like when I'm a physical therapist, the best compliment anyone can give us and me and our clinic and company is that they come back. Like that's the best thing, that people want to come back for services. They appreciate what you've done. They like what you've done. They got better, and they tell their friends, they tell their family, or they come back, or they tell their aunt, or they tell their uncle or grandma, grandparents, relatives. That's better than any marketer, any publicity, any paid anything on there too. So thank you, Amy. She said, I think she thinks it's good. So it's good so far. So I appreciate it. It's it's like, I know it's fictional, it's whatever, but it's just part of me when I'm writing it. I feel for the characters and I feel for everything there. And it's funny because I'm going on a golf trip in a couple months with my friends, with 3 other friends, and they're characters in the book, in the book series. And no, we're not going to Tennessee like in the book that starts with, but we're going to South Carolina. And it just, I don't know, it just hits home when I get to see my friends and when I write about my friends in the story and everything. And it's just a good way to connect. So it means a lot to me, and hopefully people do enjoy it. And I hopefully gave a good story and showed what could be done in that world of Fight for Us. And you can see and go along for the ride and check it out, And if you like the book, if it's a digital copy on Kindle or a paperback, whatever you like, there's plenty of story to go. So there's a lot of good books, and it's easy reading. I wasn't overcomplicating things, and but that's good. Hopefully people enjoy it. And I know not everybody will, just like everything, right? Like even some of the best shows ever had, I hate to say haters, but people who didn't go along with it or like it on there too. So, but yeah, so the Super Bowl, we got to talk about the Super Bowl because that was last week, and man, that was bad. Unless you were an Eagles fan, and I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so I did not want the Eagles to win. But all my friends back home were rooting for the Eagles, and good for them, and good for Saquon, and they were just the better team by far, and they deserve to win. I give credit where credit's due. But the Chiefs looked like they never been there before, and their offensive line was decimated, and the Eagles defense just dominated the whole game, and that was it. I thought the commercials were pretty good. Did you guys like any of the commercials? Did you like any of the game last week? I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you loved it. But when I think of the commercials, I think of the Mountain Dew Baja Blast drink one that has Seal as the singer, as a seal, and he's singing, and it's the words from his Kissed by a Rose, I think is the name of the song, but it's changed for for the Baja Blast. I thought it was pretty funny. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check out that. But so other than that, guys, we're making it through. Happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. I know it's 2 days later, but my wife and I had a nice Valentine's Day and weekend, and it's just, to me, it's just like another day. I think Valentine's Day, I'm not a hater of the Valentine's Day holiday, but it's kind of a thing that can make people feel bad. It's just like, if you don't have someone, or you're going through a breakup, or it's just there, it's some pressure sometimes too. So it's kind of, hopefully you had a good time and got some candy. Or I would never go out to dinner on that day, because I'm sure everyone's doing the same thing. And it was a Friday, so it'd be super busy on there as well. Dragon Ball Radiant question: How would your books till season 2? What would be your 6 episodes? How would your book? So I guess, my books, it would be broken down. I mean, I would have to talk to some. I don't know. I don't write scripts and write anything. I'm I guess advanced now. I don't know, an amateur writer. I'm not a professional writer by any means on there as well, but I think it would have to be a good starting point, obviously, to get to know the characters and see what it is and set up things up draw people in. But it would just have to get to a certain point, and it flows pretty well. I think the books capture stories from start to end. And I think it would fit. Probably the first book would be the 6 episodes, too. Amy Rita says, what did you do for Valentine's Day? Well, my wife and we stayed home. We got some food delivered. I got her flowers and candy. And then we went the next day to Walgreens, and everything was 50% off. But there really wasn't any good candy. And so we didn't really buy anything. And then we went to, supermarket Publix, and there really wasn't anything there too. So I personally love the day after the holiday, because any holiday, whether it's Valentine's Day, Easter is a great day the day after for the actual deals. Of course, Christmas, any holiday is a good time to get the deals afterwards. And that goes for any store, whether it's, Walgreens, CVS, Target, supermarkets, Sam's, whatever, because they just want to get rid of the stuff, and everything's deeply discounted too. Slizzle2290 Q&A: with the fall release of GTA 6 and Stranger Things, do you think Daryl Dixon season 3 will get pushed up to late summer? Well, I don't think Grand Theft Auto is going to affect people watching TV. Stranger Things is Netflix, so that's not a thing. And Daryl's going to be, a weekly show. So I think I think Daryl's going to be October. I mean, if they just finished filming now in February, the post-production takes forever. You got to get sound and digital effects and the, whatever. It takes time. So why rush it? I think nowadays you don't have to go to competition with other stuff besides movies in the theaters, and also on the same network. You don't want to have too much of the same stuff going on there. Streaming is streaming, TV shows are TV shows, but I don't think so. I still think that Maggie's show, Dead City, will be probably late April, more like early May, and Daryl's show will be October. And then hopefully we'll find out something in July. Is still my guess. Hardix says, too cold out. is made a nice steak for Valentine's Day. All right. And Oreo balls for my hubby. So what's an Oreo ball? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, is it Oreos? Is it makeshift Oreos? Is it actual Oreos that you kind of make it into a thing? What's that? You gotta give me a little more information about that. Yeah, I have Christmas. I love Reese's, and I love more peanut butter than chocolate in the Reese's. And I still have, because I was like, I don't want to buy these hearts, the chocolate hearts from Valentine's Day, because I still have the Christmas trees from Christmas. I got 2 bags of those. I got a snowman Santa thing, Reese's. So I'm like, I'll have those. And when Easter comes, I think it's end of April is Easter this year, that they will probably be finishing up those, and we'll go right into the Easter eggs that should be around. But if not, there's plenty of stuff. And try to save a little bit of money here and there too. It can go a long way. And like eggs are back up to like really expensive. My wife and I went shopping on Saturday, and we didn't get eggs because we still have some left in there. And we're like, yeah, hopefully the eggs will come down a little bit, because that's kind of crazy too. Oh, so you made your own kind of thing. So crushed Stores cream cheese coated with chocolate. Okay. Dragon Ball Radiant, do you think we can now rank Dixon above Joel, since Dixon now defeated a martial artist, or is it Void since he sucker punched him? Are you saying Joel from Last of Us? Because if we're saying Joel and Daryl, that's 2 different characters, 2 different worlds, 2 different things. I mean, Daryl has to worry about slow, nothing walkers. They're not really a thing. Or they have burners and whatever now. But people are more of the threat. In The Last of Us, it's definitely way more involved with the type of zombies that are there too. So they have all the different things, and there's big ones and little ones and fat ones and ones that, so it's just crazy. So, but yeah, I don't think I want to rank people outside of that. I mean, you could rank, Daryl is by far arguably one of the most important characters in the Walking Dead universe. He's been around since the beginning, season 1, episode 3, I think he came around. And it's pretty important that he has the whole entire show. He's probably been in more episodes than Rick, involved with everything Rick has been in, and just been carried so many story arcs. So Daryl is definitely up there, is I could say arguably the most important character in the Walking Dead franchise. Anissa says she has karaoke tickets at the camp to sing with Seth Gilliam, Father Gabriel, and Richie co-star Pope. I have no idea what's to sing with Richie. Yeah, I mean, I would have a couple options. So Anissa, you gotta have a couple of different things, especially if you know your strong suit. And if you're going with guy-girl, you could do duets because that kind of works. Or you got to have a couple different options too, because that would be kind of a good thing to have there too, because you might crack under the pressure when you're like, what do you want to pick? So have a couple of different things. Have a couple of different song choices to be like, all right, what do you I got a couple of things here. Be more prepared, because it could be a little crazy on there, but that's cool to have that experience with those 2 people. And I don't know Richie, but I know Seth is a really nice guy, and it should be pretty awesome as well. Constipated in Sin City making an appearance here. Chocolate covered gummy bears. Ugh. I think gummy bears are so chemical. I don't like gummy bears at all. I like Swedish Fish, Sour Patch Kids, and Reese's. Not the miniatures. The miniatures are okay, but like cups and trees and eggs and the big, more peanut butter things on there too. So, but yeah, I'm not a big gummy bear fan. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so the big thing with the Walking Dead universe is that it's still a good topic to discuss, but it's just one of those where it's just on the way out, It's just one of those things where I'm not sure the future is going to be any more shows after this one, because there's been no word of anything after Daryl and Carol and Maggie and Negan. Because we're lucky to get Rick and Michonne's show. Like, we were lucky to get that, I feel. And it was okay. It wasn't bad. But it's also like, I'm probably not going to go back and watch The Walking Dead like ever again. Because it's so many episodes. And then it goes off in these tangents and goes off on these things that it's just too much. And it just kind of got away from the core stuff that was there for the first 6 seasons. And the way it ended, it was just like almost not a completely different show, but almost. I'm not a big dark chocolate fan. I'm more of a milk chocolate person, the regular style, but I wouldn't be against it. You know, again, it's more of the peanut butter than the chocolate. I think peanut butter is one of the best things ever for calories, taste. I think you can't go wrong, unless you're allergic, obviously, for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's pretty cheap. Whatever bread you want to do, whatever jelly you want to do, or what kind of peanut butter. There's a little mix in there, too, if you're a crunchy or a creamy or whatever. And then if you're a grape or a strawberry or whatever, you know, I'm classic creamy with the grape jelly on white bread. You know? Yeah, I mean that's loose. That's true. Slizzle 2290. I do like the early seasons of The Walking Dead, especially with Glenn and Rick and Daryl and Merle and whatever too. Like, it's pretty cool to see the first couple seasons. I would probably watch that if I was like, still the first episode. I think the first episode of The Walking Dead is definitely easily top 3. And best in the series, just because it draws you in right away. And Rick, Morgan, it just draws you in for building up of the rest. The opening is one of the best. It's one of the best openings in TV history to draw you in right away. They could have done a little better timeline thing of it, because when it starts, it's Rick going to get gas, takes out Teddy Bear Girl, opening credits, and then it's Rick and Shane in the car, and you're like, okay. It doesn't give you time or reference. It's definitely one of those things. So it's definitely something that I feel could have been just explained with a simple line of text, like before the zombies started, boom, or something, whatever. It didn't have to give actual time, because they stayed away from actual timeline of 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, 5 years. They didn't really say things. There was never really a thing about, what actually the timeline was to hold it against there, because I guess it got, kind of just too much for him. Legend says, love your book series review. Very funny. May buy the first one. You have a good sense of humor. So, yeah, I mean, it's on digital on Kindle for 99 cents. So, like, you can't go wrong going that way. The paperback, it has to be a little more. I don't even make a lot of money from any of the book series. Like, it's not a big thing from. I would have to, like, put the price of the paperback books higher to get more return, because you get a percentage of it. And then Amazon has to they have to make it. So basically, you put the file, the cover, everything together, and they're made to order. So when you buy the book, it's made. So it's a great way of doing it, instead of just making all the books, having them sit in a room, and then waiting to be sold. It's just a better way, made to order process, where you just create the book and it's done and ships it out. The digital is always ready to go, and the digital style is never going to require any sort of book or paper or whatever materials. It's just digitally. So can't go wrong with that. And I made that, still cheap as well. I guess the first book's 99 cents. You can't go wrong. I think I make 40 cents of that. I think I make out of that, or whatever. It's probably even less. And that's fine. I'm not doing it to get rich, because there's definitely better things to get rich for. But it's a creative outlet. It's a creative thing, a creative way to be connecting with people and building it up in this world. And it was a great outlet. Like, I recommend it for sure. Like, even if you're never going to publish it, just write the book and type the book up and type the thing out and have an idea and express yourself and just let it out. And like I said, even if you're never going to do anything with it, we have to have outlets in life, whether it's YouTube or video games or golf or working out or running or dancing, whatever, you know? So it's definitely something that's kind of cool. I just recommend it for sure. You know, we have to paint, sing, dance, you know, whatever, swim, whatever you're going to do. Creativity is key. It's one of the four, I think it's like there's the thing of 7 C's of success. And it's creativity, you know, communication, you know, it's one of those things that are really great too. I just love it. Dragon Ball Radiant says, to me, Joel definitely lives in a harder apocalypse, but to me, Dixon is the better fighter. He's never lost a fight in the entire series, and he beat Rick twice. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to rank the two, I think Daryl, and also Daryl has just done... No. Oh, man. Legend says, the book review was kind, but said you fat-shamed your friend Sean. If he was in on the joke, that's fine. Hopefully he was otherwise. That's awkward. Well, no, Sean's actually really fit now in real life. He's really into CrossFit. And so I just wanted to make the characters kind of relatable, that they were all going through something. And again, it's a fictional thing. Personality-wise, some people are different than other people, and some people are actually the other person, and whatever. It just kind of ebbs and flows with the type of characters on there too. And I also I wanted to kind of show people there too how they start and how they go throughout the zombie apocalypse. And it was just description of the character. Sean's definitely not a fatty. He's actually very fit now, and I've known him since 6th grade, and he's been, you know, my friend and one of my best friends for a long time. And he's, you know, him and I played soccer together and everything. And, you know, just like everybody, people have their ups and downs with their weight or their health or their with this. And no, it's, well, I hope not. I hope he didn't take it that way too. And, you know, yeah, some of my friends were kind of, I don't know, not off-put by it, but just different, you know, with it. And some of them are okay with it. Some of them, and again, it's a fictional thing. It's not real life. It's just not exactly to the T, you know. But other than that, it's, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess, right? So you have to read the book series down the road to see what happens to Sean and the rest of the group. So, yeah, I mean, the big thing in life is to create something and to do something. It's pretty amazing to do something from scratch, you know. Like I love the idea of having something, because I remember I had an idea for a book series, and I asked people on here, do people still read books? You know, because I don't know if that's still a thing, and I'm sure people do, and people still watch movies and shows and everything on there too. And then you start to think about it. It's like, okay, I think I want to write this. I think I want to write my book series. So then I wrote it, and I rushed it, and I was excited there too, and I was going through some health problems, so I put it out too early. And I should have waited and edited it and had better software and everything on there too, and actually had my wife read it, because I don't think she really read it. I was kind of like internally keeping it to myself, which is not the way to do it. You have to have editors. You have to have people that do it. And you have to have people, another set of eyes, that if it's not clear to them or they catch something, because it's easy to get defensive with something that you created. Like it's your baby, and how does anybody critique your baby, and how does anybody say something bad about it? And you don't want to do that, whether it's an actual baby or your product of making a song or, you know, video or book or whatever. That it's like, it's definitely something that I enjoyed, and I know it's not perfect, but hopefully it's the right kind of thing too. And also want to show that too, like the world's not perfect, Ryan's not perfect, no one in that universe is perfect. People have their trials and tribulations and problems, and if you stick around long enough, hopefully you'll see the journey that is Fight for Us in the book series and potentially beyond too. So other than that, it's something that I'm excited for, and just like I'm excited for other TV shows and movies to be coming out later this year. And, you know, I feel like the Captain America Brave New World, that it's going to be the start of Marvel's resurgence potentially, because they set up some things for the future of that. And I like the idea of, you know, I like Marvel. You know, I'm not a Marvel hater. I don't think Marvel has its place in the movies. I don't own a movie theater. I don't care about what the movies bring in. It doesn't make any difference to me if Captain America Brave New World is going to be bringing in $100 million in the first 4 days of it. I don't care. I care about good movies, shows, entertainment, whatever it is. And it's something that hopefully we get back on track there to it. And I think James Gunn's going to do a good job with the DC Universe there. And we'll have to see what else comes around, too. The Accountant 2 looks good with John Bernthal and Ben Affleck. The Superman movie looks good. There's just a lot of stuff that is interesting that's going to be for this year. And the entertainment dollar is still going strong. I don't know if people can afford to go to the movies anymore because they're super expensive. And just wait a little bit and watch it at home when it comes to a streaming service. And now you can get a 50-inch TV for like pretty darn cheap compared to what they were years ago. And if you have the room or the TV stand or put it on the wall, it depends on how big it is. So it's pretty interesting to see where their future is going to be this year and beyond. Because remember, like back in the day when you had to go to Blockbuster or West Coast Video or Hollywood Video or whatever, some video store, a rental for actual VHS and then DVDs and then that. And now you don't really see that anymore. Like, how do you even rent movies? I guess you don't, right? Jeannie says, my sister took offense at one of my fictional couples because of the age gap, but none of my other readers have complained about it. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, people, you'll notice, like when you create something, everyone has an opinion, and they're, the saying about opinions and buttholes, everyone has one and some of them stink. But the thing about it is you got to do what you got to do for you. Be careful of, how you say things or comments about things. And when in doubt, just change it enough so it's not like a real person or a real place or a real environment or whatever. You just got to be careful of that stuff because some people will take offense to it. And nowadays, people just love to sue and people love to do all that stuff and people love to do all that stuff. So, there's just nothing that should be left that's derogatory or insulting or slanderous or whatever on there, because that's not where we should be going with any of that stuff, because people can get in serious trouble for that. And then people are going to get their feelings hurt no matter what it is. People are always going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so offended, I have to tell you about this, or I have to tell everyone about this, or I have to say this about it, or I have to talk about that too. So it's definitely something that I learned being on here as well, because when the first book came out and the grammar was this and the punctuation was that and the story was this, and some people could get past it and some people couldn't. And again, that's on me. Learned a valuable lesson for that, because you only have one chance for a first impression. If you're going to make an impression on somebody, you want it to be in a positive light. That goes for anything, whether you're going for a job, a meeting, a date. You want to present yourself a certain way, whatever it is, that's the way you should be. People are going to be judging everyone and anyone for the end of time. People say you shouldn't do it, and they probably shouldn't, but that's what people do. People look at a cover, they look at a person's physical appearance and they say, wow, that person's got it together, or wow, they don't, or wow, this, or wow, that, good, positive, negative, whatever. It's just going to be how it is. And that's going to be how it goes. And we're going to have to deal with it, change, or just avoid people in general. And a lot more people are just avoiding people and interactions, and they don't know how to have an interaction with people, which is kind of sad because everybody's feelings are so sensitive now. Not everybody, but enough people are. And those are the people that, reach out and have all that stuff. And, it's a tough world out there too. I don't know if it's that any tougher than it was so many years ago, but now we're so connected, and every which way people can vent and cry and whine and all the other things, that it's like, it's a good thing to just not look at it, to not be around it, to not see anything, because it's just like, what are we going to have? I don't know how to answer that, because I have to worry about how I see too. Like, I saw a quote that was pretty good that I wanted to share. Hold on, bear with me. Sorry, I got a lot of different things on my phone. That your triggers are your responsibility. It isn't the world's obligation to tiptoe around you. And there's a line, responsibility. So your triggers are your responsibility. So you have to see how things affect you. It isn't the world's obligation to tiptoe around you. So the way you feel about things is the way it is. The way you can do about it is how you react, how you perceive things, how you talk about it, how you don't talk about it, how you break things down, how you feel about things. And that's the only thing you can always do is, yes, you're going to have good things happen to you, bad things, this, that, but it's also a matter of perspective. Perceiving yourself as happy, go lucky, good, there, excited, whatever, positive, is part of it too. Seeing the world in a negative light, everything is going to bring you down. I see a lot of patients in the physical therapy world, and predominantly are retired. I live in Florida, so predominantly the age group that we're seeing is 60s, 70s, and 80s. And some people are the happiest ever. Some people aren't. Some people, every little thing bothers them. And that's where some things manifest into dizziness, unsteadiness. Their safety is in jeopardy. They feel like the world is the most unsafe place ever because of whatever they believe or whatever they see or watching the news or whatever. And it's sad because the world is what it is. Things are happening around us whether we like it or not. What can we control? I don't know. I can only control myself, how I perceive things, and how I react to things that come along there too, like driving to work. People are terrible drivers. I see it all the time. Is it worth honking the horn, giving the finger? I would say no, not really ever, because what's going to come from that? Nothing. Not a big enough response, or something's going to happen where the person's going to father you. It's going to be road rage. It's going to turn to a big, huge, because people are on edge. So it's not worth getting bent out of shape, in my opinion. But trust me, I get annoyed and frustrated when people are going too fast, too slow, too aggressive, too annoying, It's just, part of it. And so I try to just get to work. I try to be there. I try to just take it easy and try to do all the things that you can control and take it day by day. You can only do with what you got, the best we got with what we got. All we have is the ability to just wake up every day and just go about our day in a way and hopefully help people and stay away from people, I guess, for the most part, is sometimes a better thing too. So, but ultimately, hopefully you're safe and sound and doing well and staying positive with it as well. So, Legend, what are you talking about? Why did you say it's only a cat when he passed away? I thought that was deeply insensitive. I love my fur babies. I was a little offended when you said it. I don't know what you're talking about, but like I said, right there, it was insensitive. It was this. Like, what are you talking about? I hope you ain't talking about with me when Milo passed away. Because if you are, you don't know what the heck you talking about. Because if you're going to say that, then all right. Insensitive? Please. Man, this is one of these things that just, here we go. Oh, I can't believe you said this. I love my fur babies. Oh, of course. And I love my fur baby too. And if you know anything about it, then you would know that. Wow. That just pisses me off. So that's just crazy. So, but ultimately, the way it goes is, if you have to ask that question, you don't know nothing about me and this channel and my cats and my life and my family. Right? Great. So you're going to give me a pass? Cool. I'm glad. I need a pass from these people. I need a pass in life. Ooh, the people in here are going to give me a pass. Ooh, I can go on with my life now. This is the problem with people. Everyone thinks they love to judge everybody else based on a single line of life. So I have to feel offended or oversensitive of a thing that you clearly don't know. And I don't even know what you're referencing. I don't even know what you're talking about. But it's just kind of laughable how people are like, oh, he said this one thing, and now I lose all respect for somebody on there too. I lose all respect for someone on there too that said on there too. That's how people get. Wow. That's like just an annoying thing that. So when did we get to the point where we're just judging everybody and letting everybody know how they feel? Like, how about you just keep it to yourself? Like, no one cares that you were insensitive, or no one cares that it was this, or you were offended, or no one cares any of that stuff. Like, to be honest with you. But everyone's going to let everybody know how they feel because they have their own platform now on social media and everything on there as well. And it's like, come on, man. I don't even know what you're talking about, but it's just annoying. So that's how we go with everything on there too. But it's just so funny how people get so bent out of shape over every little thing. And it's just not worth getting anything. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. So again, I had, so just to recap anything, but this person doesn't even know anything about me evidently, is that I lost my cat a couple weeks ago. He died right in front of me. And it was a traumatic thing. And just to be clear, I loved him like a son. I adopted him when he was weeks old, and he lived to be 17 and a half years old. So of course I loved him like my child, like my son. And so I don't know where you got it all twisted up and everything in there, but I was deeply sad and still am for him and will miss him for the rest of my life. But I know he's just a cat. My life has to go on. I can't sit here and mourn and cry and be depressed and be a bum and say, oh, my anxiety, and go talk to somebody and never do anything on there too. Life goes on, whether we like it or not. Life goes on when you lose something, someone, whatever it is. It's just a fact. Now, what we try to do with it is I have to move on with my life. Yes, I miss him all the time, and I think about him all the time, and I have pictures of him, and I have all these things. I had a really cool little keychain thing made of his picture. On my home screen is of him. So, yes, it deeply affects me on there too. So, it's definitely a thing that. But this person is going to be insensitive about a line that's ridiculous. So, but overall, it's just a sad thing. And I said before that I feel for anyone who has lost a pet and for a person as well. I've lost people, I've lost pets and everything, but it's a matter of time. 17 and a half years with a pet is a long time. And so it's one of those things where time is against us. We never have enough time. Time's always running out. So for the past 49 minutes, we've been talking about things and everything as well. And so the big thing about it is that we truly have a connection, hopefully, and we have a thing where we can talk about stuff. And, it's something that I feel with the right people on there too. So Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me to say, so he says, you misunderstood me. I forgave your comment. They were misjudged, but it was just grief. I spoke to my partner when watching the live stream, and he told me to ignore it because it's grief. I got over it. Well, the better thing is that you didn't type anything at all, right? That would have been good. That would have been fine too. So it didn't need to be judged. None of it had to be judged at all. When I'm here talking about something, I'm bringing it to you to be open, honest, and transparent. I didn't have to say anything about it because no one needs to know everything about anybody at all times. But the fact that you misunderstood and misjudged it on there too, that's okay. But if it is a thing like that, maybe if it's a thing that's just not better said. We can always say that. Remember, there was an older thing growing up. When I was in the 80s and 90s, it said, if you don't have anything nice to say, keep it to yourself. Keep quiet. And I understand it's probably miscommunication, and I understand that too. And it's definitely a thing that doesn't need to be this whole drama and turning into this tangent. And that's not how I want to have this for the final 10 minutes. But it's something that is a clear example of communication, text, or miscommunication that can be a problem. And that's actually a good segue into it too, because communication, whether it's on here or text or email or, whatever, messaging, is sometimes not understood. If someone is happy, sad, mad, frustrated, you don't know the connection of emotion for it. Someone could be joking, someone could not be, someone can get bent out of shape over nothing. And so that's a good thing in life, is that we have to communicate effectively between people. And not everything is the same way connected and communicated effectively there too. People have different love languages. People have different things on there too. And at the end of the day, you don't have to, but I feel like the best way is to communicate with the person the right way so they understand. So you can say things the wrong way. You can say things in the wrong tone. Like, it's not how you say it, but what you say, or it's not what you say, but how you say it. Whatever side you believe in, your delivery of a message has to be, thought about as well, because you could have a great thing, but if it's coming across in a way that makes the person defensive or frustrated or annoyed or whatever, then that's the wrong way too. And like sometimes when you talk with a person, like a boss or a manager or something, they're trying to say something, or they're beating around the bush and it comes away this, or they're not being direct about it. And at the end of the day, it should just be a focused thing that is like, look, I need you to work later today because of this. Can you help us out for there too? Right? And if the answer is no, then you tried, but also you kind of want to help out the job, because, we had a patient at another clinic that I think it was a female therapist. It was a different clinic. It wasn't mine, but a female therapist, one of their parents died, I believe, or something like that too. So it was a bad circumstance that no one could foresee. So the person had to be out. I think it was a PTA or an assistant, that their family member died. And so they weren't going to come in. And so they're asking if they could, have our assistant go there to work there. And I was like, sure, no problem. I totally understand it, because things happen. And I just had all the stuff with Milo happen where I didn't go to work, and it was just sad. And so I was like, yeah, sure. But then the assistant didn't want to go. She was like, no, I'm not going. And you're like, that doesn't look well. That's not good. That doesn't look right. That's not going to sit well with a lot of people when it's like you didn't even try to go or try to make an attempt on there too. And it was every right to have it be a thing, but she didn't have to go, and she didn't. But it doesn't. It's like, man, But maybe it wasn't communicated effectively or whatever. Maybe it was like, we need you to go to we need you to go to this clinic. I don't know, and didn't say why or how or be on the two, and maybe it didn't matter, but it was communication. Could have been that way as well too. So. Yeah. Yeah, so again, legend. The better thing is probably just to let it go. But when I'm talking here and I don't have a script, I'm just being a human being, it's a big difference thing. Either way, my conscience is clear. I said what I said, I did what I did, and I feel how I feel, even though I love my cat Milo, and he's very important to me. And yes, to be clear, animals are family members. I love them like family members, and I lost Milo. He was only a cat. He wasn't anything for a lot of people, but I still love him very much. Read what you will, and say what you want to say, and whatever. That's how it is too. So, but ultimately than that, guys, so hopefully you're going to maybe watch the Daytona 500 today. I don't know. I'm in Florida. I'm a couple hours away from Daytona, but hopefully it'll be a good race and the weather. And it could get some rain on there too, our local weather person said. So got to be careful out there if you're going to be out there. I doubt anyone's going to Daytona 500 and watching this. You'd probably be there already because it's going to start around 2:30. Even though it was so funny, my student's from University at Buffalo in New York. And we were talking about the Daytona 500 because it was this weekend with a patient and blah, blah, blah. And then we went to lunch, and then we came back, and we were getting ready for the afternoon. And he's like, yeah, I bought a ticket to the Daytona 500. And I was like, really? It was on Friday. And he's like, yeah, so he's there, so I'll have to find out how it went. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, he just spur of the moment bought a ticket and was going to drive up there today. And, man, hopefully it goes well, and hopefully it's not too crazy for him there, too. Hopefully the weather holds up, too. Dragon Ball Radiant, do you think Simon will be back for another flashback, or is he done? I don't know. Like, I would love to see Simon again. I don't know how it wouldn't have the same luster as it did from before, but we can get another flashback potentially. I loved it when they had a connecting point to it, because Dead City didn't have the best connections because it was like a new place and a new city, and it was just Maggie and Herschel and Negan, and the Croat was Negan's savior person, but we didn't see him before. And then when they brought Simon away, it was pretty cool. So it was definitely something with watching that. And I love the flashbacks. I love the callbacks. I love the connections. I love, any foreshadowing. I just love all those things that show us some great connecting points to the universe that we know and love, which is The Walking Dead too. So I would love to, I wouldn't be mad if we saw another Simon flashback, because it worked and it was one of the best parts of the show. Constipated Since he says, Brian, I know where your twin is. He is Simon Whistler. Good luck with getting to sleep. So I don't know who Simon Whistler is, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But my twin, huh? So other than that, guys, yeah, we're getting ready for Reacher. Coming back for season 3 on Thursday. Cobra Kai is on Netflix. We'll be watching Billions, season 1 still. So I'll have to check how many episodes that is. And the next week, we got Taylor Sheridan's 1923. So Harrison Ford's making a nice little comeback of shows. Like, I don't even, media in Brave New World, Captain America. He's the General Thaddeus. And so I like the idea that they're setting up for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't really know how much Harrison Ford is going to be involved with going forward, because he's got to be getting up there, man. I don't know how old he is, but there, and he's on 1923, and he just loves acting on there too. So, Stephen Ogg, if you, Anissa, so are you going to meet Stephen there at the camp in May? Because if you do, he's pretty tall. He's taller than you think. And he's pretty funny too. So, but other than that, guys, that's my time really here. So I'll take the next minute to answer any questions you have in the chat. Like I said, those are the shows I'm watching. I don't know what other movies are coming out for anything. I don't know if anything you're excited for coming out this month, next month, in the near future, because I know that the bigger movies that I'm kind of excited for are coming out in later this year or in the summer. Yeah, and he says I met him at Walker Stalker in 2017. The one in Georgia, in Atlanta. 2017. Man, that's so long ago now. It's crazy to think. That's depending on the month. Well, if it was probably October then if it was in Atlanta, Atlanta, yeah. That was the best one. The best Walker Stalkers were there. That was coming up on 8 years ago. That's crazy. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. That's my time. Sorry about the rant with Legend and the cat stuff. But, yeah, I don't want that to get twisted around that I was putting down there, too. I mean, I was very upset about Milo and my cat being my son and everything, and I love them very much. And I love all animals that are, part of the family. They're family members, so I don't want to get twisted at all. But thank you guys for taking the time to be here. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about other shows and stuff and watching Reacher on Thursday. So hopefully you'll check that out. We can talk about that a little bit. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Thank you for being here. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals no matter what they are. Keep working hard. Keep grinding. I'll be back next Sunday, and I'll see you guys.